Hey, Caitlin, you came to the right place because about 10 years ago when I started working at the institution I work for now, I had to come up with projections for my own major gift program, which I was kind of re-founding. So I actually went back and looked at my strategic advancement plan that I wrote back then, and I'm going to show you the actual chart I used to set projections for major gifts that year. Just a sec. Okay, you can see I started with the number of trips that I had to take because I needed to know how many visits I thought I could actually get in. And this was before we were using Zoom, so I'd probably be able to get a lot more in via Zoom nowadays. But I have a constituency that's spread out all over the country, so I actually have to travel to major metro areas that have enough of our constituents to visit. So I projected I would get 85 visits in that first year. And out of that, I would be able to deliver 10 proposals or so. Most of them are going to be discovery visits in the beginning. Don't let people push you to ask too soon, too hard. And I figured about 12% of those would, or about 12% I would deliver proposals to that would be ready for that in some immediate capacity, which would lead to about a 75% closing rate. Average amount of the proposal, $27,250 with projected dollars of $208,000. And I really had no idea whether this was reasonable the first year. A lot of it is going to be guesswork unless you have some strong data to base some of these metrics on. But this is the process you go through. It's very similar to a funnel you might build for email or direct mail, or for even phone-a-thon calling or fundraising in that way. But you really just start with how many people can you actually meet and interact with? How many people do you think you can actually move toward an ask? Obviously, my second year, I would have had more proposals delivered, and I probably would have had the same or a slightly higher amount closed. And maybe that average amount of the proposal would go up because you're going to have some that are on that lower end that might be 4-figure gifts, and you're going to have some that are on that much higher end that are going to pull that average up to that 25, 27,000. I don't know what these numbers look like for your institution, but this is the process that I would suggest that you go through. And some of it's going to be guesswork that first year, and everybody needs to be aware. So I would be very, very conservative in your numbers when you're putting them out, especially for a first year. Again, mostly because you're meeting people and you need that opportunity to build a relationship before you drop a proposal in their lap. You might be able to ask them for $1,000 like leadership annual level gift that first year, but you really need more time to build the relationship before you put a major proposal in front of them. So that was my thought process. I think it worked pretty well. We definitely increased the total amount given by more than $208,000 that year, but we were also fixing things on the annual giving side. So I don't know that we followed this formula exactly, but we certainly took up the amount that we brought in that year. And in subsequent years, we went up by quite a bit.